Hello, Janis here. In today's video, I want to talk about different forms of content in virtual reality and different modalities of training and content that you can create and that you can use to bring the best out of technology and to use it to the best benefit of your organization or business. Now, let's start with one of the most simple forms of content in virtual reality, which is 360-degree videos. 360-degree videos are quite easy to capture and easy to get into virtual reality. And in general, 360 videos tend to fall into one of two categories of content. So the first category of content for 360 video is experiential 360 video. So in this scenario, you as a user are more of a passenger and you're just experiencing the world around you, and you're experiencing the scenario. And so you're immersed in the 360 video and you can observe everything around you. Maybe you can add some content in terms of some notes or some explanation of some things that are going around you in the scenario. But in general, you're just there to see the experience and to watch a video in a more immersive format and experience the set. Let's say it would be a surgery or a manufacturing process or like a travel experience, and you're just there in a more immersive environment where you can actually look around you and see what's going on. The other form of 360 video is kind of interactive 360 video. So imagine that when you're creating the content, you're filming like a series of 360 videos, and you can build a training scenario or experience where the user is making choices and then have a branching scenarios into video. And there are some like really good use cases, for example, health and safety training or like customer service training and conflict de-escalation, where user can make choices and then that jumps the scenario to a different snippet of 360 video, and it's kind of like create your own story type of experience. And these ones are really good because the content is reasonably cheap and easy to create, and you can tailor it for your needs and your organization's needs. And there are multiple platforms out there that are allowing this functionality with no-code content creation tools. So everything you need to create those 360 videos is a 360 video capture camera, something like Insta360, and then just the platform and somebody who knows how to create some learning scenarios but without in-depth coding knowledge. And this type of interactive 360 video is really good for scenarios for soft skills training, or for example, when you want to teach your students how to interview patients or how to deal with different customer service problems. And the branch scenario can give the trainee or the student like all the different possibilities, and so they can experience both the good and the bad outcomes of the scenario. Another nice thing for 360 videos, both for experiential and also for scenario-based training videos, is that most of the times you can use it either with a VR headset or also just on a desktop or a tablet, and therefore you can create that content once and it's available across all of your e-learning platforms. Now, moving on, when we get into a real synthetic virtual reality, one of the most common content types for virtual reality is procedural training, and so there you can either do custom code or there are some platforms and no-code content creation tools where you can build a training scenario with fully digital assets. And usually in this type of virtual reality you have an environment and then you have object of the simulation, so that would be like some sort of a process. And the user is going through the process and usually using some tools, or just like going through the process, let's say on a factory manufacturing line, and just like making decisions and making the right choices about the process and about what things they should do. And these scenarios can vary in complexity from like really simple linear process to a branched and really complex process also with assessment built in. One of the main differences from kind of like active scenario-based 360 video and immersive virtual reality with synthetic digital content is that in virtual reality environment you have full control over the amount of distractions and the content itself and the level of detail of content. So you can work either like with very basic and kind of like gray box type of assets to just walk the user through the process, but you have ability to dial up the fidelity and the complexity of the scenario and assets themselves up to a photorealism and lifelike interactions. Another type of virtual reality content is mixed reality content. So that would be content where you still use a virtual reality headset that has mixed reality capabilities, and these are passed through cameras, so you can see the world around you as well as the digital assets, and then overlaying the digital assets over the world that you can see and that the user can see. And this is very useful, for example, for architecture and planning and design, or for different product reviews where you need the real-world environment, but then you also want to overlay some virtual elements and virtual objects and see how they look like within the real world. Another good use case there is, for example, pilot training, where there are simulations where the pilot is sitting in a physical cockpit simulator and there is a virtual world that's overlaid over part of that pilot cockpit, and they have full controls and they can see their hands and they can see all the controls and operate them, but then all of the environment that's like the flight environment is simulated and is fully virtual. Another type of virtual reality content is experiential content. So it's not procedural training in the sense that the user is not following a process, but the user is focusing on an object or subject of the simulation and is experiencing and exploring it. So for example, it could be like some sort of a device or machine, and you could look at it as a more of a, like a digital twin environment where you can explore all of the functions and understand how that machine or how the device works, but you don't have a particular scenario that you need to follow. And this also can be really good for different sales demos and kind of as instructions for use. So you can explore the device and you can look at different points of interest, and then you can get more information about them, but there is no particular route that you should take. And imagine that as very much build your own adventure, a multiplayer RPG, where you can just like choose whatever quest you want, and this can be like very similar for this device or machine that you see in the virtual reality environment, and you can understand and like play around with all the functions. Now moving on from this kind of like showcase or virtual instructions for use case with a digital twin, the next step is actually using digital twins in virtual reality for design and for human factors research. And so very similar, the virtual object has all the functionalities that the object would have in real world, and that might be a car, for example, or a manufacturing device or a medical device, and even like a medical device and a patient. And there you can use virtual reality to actually design and to understand how your design works in a simulated environment, and see how you could improve your product or how you could improve your device, and try out different iterations and different variations of it to see which one will be best fit for the task you want to do with it. In general, virtual reality is just a medium, and you have to be very careful when you're thinking about selecting what you want to achieve using the technology and what your goals are and what your business objectives or organizational objectives are when you're using this technology. And then based on that you can get and choose the best content type for your organization and see where it will add the most value and the most return of investment, because the technology is complex and it can be really easy to really difficult to adapt depending on where in your organization you want to apply it and how you want to integrate it in your day-to-day processes and workflows. I hope you found this video useful, and let me know what would be the ways how you would like to explore virtual reality. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and follow me for more. See you in the next one. Bye.